it's o2manyfish, and we are in October of 2022, and I got a new present, well, both a present and a toy, from my friend Alexander at Abyzz. If you're not familiar with Abyzz, that probably means you don't have a big tank and you're not worried about it. If you've got a sizable tank and you want the best in aquarium pumps, then you probably are familiar with Abyzz, or maybe even you have a couple of orange cable pumps in your system now. Find out about Abyzz. If you're running a tank anywhere from 240 gallons up, Abyzz pumps, incredible. Silent, vibration free, no heat transfer, 10-year warranty, titanium impeller. They are the Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Mercedes. There's nobody else at the top end of aquarium pump manufacturing like Abyzz. And they recently came out with a new flow pump. So their standard pumps are submersible, can run internal or external for flow, for your plumbing to do a return or something like that, run your filtration system. These are now to go high flow pumps to go inside the aquarium. So this is the Flow Cannon 150. This is the baby. So let's take a look at what it looks like. So I've been running dual Abyzz pumps. One is a primary and one is for my secondary filtration equipment for about 4 years now outside. I've had to clean them once. I love them. They make no noise. They do not fail. They've got smart technology. They know when they're running dry. They cannot stop your dogs from barking at every whim, wham, and jam. And so the first thing we see when we open up the box is the famous Abyzz orange cord, which is very cool and stylish for your return pumps. But for your flow cannon inside your aquarium, I would have preferred black to hide it a little bit more so you don't have a neon orange cord going up to your aquarium. So we're going to lift out the flow cannon. So there's the flow cannon. It comes with a basket cage around it, impeller in there, flow diffuser out here. This is the back side. There are 3 mounting screws. There are 2 different options available from Abyzz. You can either go with a magnetic holder for using in the tank, or there's a pipe clamp adapter, which I believe is made entirely out of titanium, or you can fabricate your own. So we'll take this out of the box. And then here is the Abyzz IPU controller. This is waterproof, so you can use it inside, outside, drip on it, drop on it, whatever you want. This is a 110 volt version. This comes standard with a 3-meter cord to connect the pump to the controller. This does produce a minor amount of heat, and it's going to depend on what level you're running it at. After you get it, it's going to be slightly warm to the touch or warmer to the touch. I have someone that did a test on this. It does take up to, I believe, 164 watts of power. So when it's called a 150 cannon, that's the 150 watts. Someone got a reading of 164 on this one. All right, I'm going to show you how to put the magnet mount on, because the instructions, there aren't any, and the instructions from Abyzz were a little bit confusing. So give me a moment to grab a couple tools and let's put a magnet on this. All right, so this, in addition to the barking dogs, is the Abyzz one Flow Cannon magnet mount. This is an additional accessory. Yes, not included in your box or your package. Not available for $9.95, not available for $29.95. I really don't know what it's available at. But this is the magnet mount, so we'll give this an opening up. Boom, boom, boom. 3, I believe, stainless steel screws. Hex heads. Inside, 2 giant black pancake magnets. Now, I'm pretty sure if you get your finger in the middle of there, you will not be happy, so keep those pads in place. This is the piece that goes external. I have been told this is waterproof, so you could use this inside an overflow box if you want to mount a flow cannon on your overflow, or submerge it inside on a wall in a tank if that should be the application. And then this side has holes in it, which are threaded, and so the screws are going to go through the back of the pump, boom, through the holes here, and into here and thread here. Now, according to Abyzz, you are supposed to remove these 6 little screws on the outside and then use a screwdriver to pry this off and then be able to access the screws. I found that to be difficult because when I took the screws off, I got no movement at all because the tolerances are so tight on the way this is manufactured. So I just left it alone and went with a do-it-myself hack. So let me grab a bit and I'll show you what I did. So I'm using a 1/4-inch socket extender. That's about, what, 12 inches long. And on this one, because of the bit I happen to have a 1/4 inch adapter on the end. And then I have a hex head bit that fits into my stainless steel screws. Not magnetic, so you don't have to worry about it sticking to the magnetic base. And then what I'm gonna do, and this takes a little bit of cool positioning, is I'm gonna line up through the impeller, come up through the middle, and it's gonna hopefully pop right out the top there. Now that I've got that threaded into there, I'm gonna bring this to this. Now notice this side has the rubber bumpers on it. So this side's gonna be exterior facing your glass. So this side is going to be interior. I'm gonna line up with the threads. Spin that on. Get it nice and snug. That's one down. 2 more to go. And that's as easy as it is. Or as hard as it is, depending on how much your hands shake. I'm gonna line up the second one. Second one's in. I'm gonna grab my third one. Same procedure again. Find my open hole right next to the plug on this one. Come up through the center of the pump. Whoops, dropped it. Come up through the center of the pump. Find the hole, found it. Get it in there, get it snug. And now we've mounted the magnet for the interior portion of the pump. Now, assuming you've got a thick aquarium glass, which if you're gonna run this size pump, you are gonna have thick aquarium glass, that's how it's gonna be used. This magnet's on the outside of the tank, this magnet's on the inside of the tank. Let's put it in water and see what it does. What do you think? Yay! Flow cannon is in the tank. Do-do-do-do-do-do. So we've set it up temporarily right here on the side just to do some testing with it, see how the flow pattern works out, be able to show it to you guys. The goal is we have 2 of these. We're gonna move them, one on the back wall facing forward and one on the side wall facing down the back of the tank. And after doing some preliminary testing, these are going to be quite a whirlpool situation for this tank. So the tank that we're working with and playing with today is my new 750-gallon display tank built by Titan Exhibits. If you're looking for a big acrylic tank, contact Brian at Titan Exhibits out in Arizona. Man, they build them amazing. We're going through 1.25 inch tank acrylic on this. So the magnets have no problem. As you can see here, the pump is nice and secure. It's not moving anywhere. There's the magnet on the outside of the tank. It's holding it. It's locked in. Not a problem. Here we have the controller. Controller just telling us right now that the pump is stopped at 16%. I can use, it's a very simple controller. Up, increase my speed. Down, decrease my speed. M, save the speed. If I get into the start stop, it has a ramp mode. Now it's telling you it's running up to 16%. This has a constant flow, a random flow, a second random flow, and a pulse available through the 4-button menu system. So right now we're running at 16%. Let me stop the pump. We're going to play with the ramp up function and see what the Abyzz Flow Cannon does in our 750-gallon aquarium. Now, this tank is 10 feet long, 4 feet from front to back, and 2.5 feet tall. I have shut off all the flow in the tank with the exception of about 1,500 gallons per hour in a return pump. So as you can see, we're pretty flat along the top of the tank. No current, no other pumps going in the tank at the moment. I'm gonna grab my controller. I'm pretty sure they didn't design this to be a portable controller, so you'll probably have it mounted somewhere. I'm gonna start the pump. Here goes the pump on, running at 16%. And immediately we can see right here on the hammer corals, you can start to see some motion on them. And now we're going to start ramping the flow up. All right, we're at 25% now. And we're starting to get some motion on the torch coral down here. You can see the hammers, which are about 6.5 feet away, are all showing motion on the bottom of the tank. And it'll be very difficult, you're gonna have to believe me on this one, but if you were to look at the surface of the tank, you can see already that this water is going in a clockwise pattern across the top of the tank. What's interesting about that is the return from the sump is actually going counterclockwise. So at 25%, we've already overpowered the return from the sump, and we're continuing the flow all the way across the tank. Now we're running at 50% power. The controller is telling me that I'm at 50.1%. I'm going to save my speed. It'll probably tell me the temperature of the pump. I'm using 28 watts of power right now. As you can see, the torch is still flowing. The hammer's still moving. And the flow across, there's more rippling across the top of the tank. It's going to be very difficult for you to see because it's reflective in its water, and if you've shot aquariums, you know this. But the water is rippling across the surface of the tank now. I'm going to ramp it up again to the next level. Okay, we're at 75% power now. Okay, and you can start to see the hammers are really blowing in the breeze down here. Okay, if we look on the top of this rock here, you can see the purple suspiciolaria is on the back side of what I call the island, and it's blowing counterclockwise in the tank, going across the back wall. If we look on the very back wall of the tank, you can see the green star polyp. Look at the amount of force that's blowing that current. Now that is 10 feet down the front of the tank, 4 feet down the side, and about 4 feet down the back of the tank. So we're talking about 18 feet of flow right there, and you can see it's laying down the green star polyps as well as the Duncans. And we're only at 75%. So if you've got a nice 120, 180 gallon, even a 200 gallon tank, this isn't the pump for you. You want to have a big tank. This is a big tank pump. It's a big physical size. It's moving a lot of water. It's pushing a lot of stuff around. It will blow your rocks over. It'll blow your fish out of the way. It's too powerful for what you think is your really cool 240 gallon tank. So you're playing with a big boy toy. It's for big boy tanks. And if you've got a big boy tank, this is the toy you want. Let's run it up to 100% and see what happens. Okay, we're running at 100% now, and you can see right here underneath the pump opening, the torch is going crazy. You can also see, if you watch behind the torch, all the detritus that's being picked up off the bottom of the tank and being blown out through the rockwork. So that's going 10 feet down, 4 feet back, and coming about 6 feet down the back of the tank, and it's blowing the detritus off the bottom of the tank. So if you have a bare bottom tank and you want to keep that detritus in motion, that's the way to go. And if we go, take a step over to the left, look at this Duncan on the back wall. I mean, that guy is just getting the head blown off of him. And that's 14 feet away from the pump. So we're definitely going to be using this on a random flow, so we're not on high flow all the time. And we're going to put it on a timer so we don't run constantly. But the flow is pretty amazing. The other thing that's really nice is if we take the camera all the way over to the pump, and I stop talking and my dogs start barking, you don't hear anything. Okay? There's no noise coming from the pump. There's no noise coming from the dog. No vibration on the tank. No hum. Nothing like that. It's just sitting there pumping away. I believe this is rated at 20,000 gallons per hour. There is a boost mode, but I haven't figured out how to use the boost mode yet. And there's also the random and the pulse mode. So we're back. We are in wave mode now. The wave mode, you can set the minimum wave, the max or minimum power of the wave, maximum power of the wave, and the delay between the two power cycles. You cannot set how loud your dog barks, how quietly your dog barks, how often your damn dog barks. So right now we're set at 15% and 85% with a 1 second pulse or 1 second pause in between the pulses. Okay, and if we start off with the pump, there's no noise. Smocky. No noise coming from the pump. You don't hear a whirring or grinding or anything like that. We come over to the first coral, which is about 1.5 feet back from the pump, hammer coral, and you can see it pulsing. We go to the back of the tank. So now this is 24 feet away. Look at the green star polyps pulsing on the back wall. And again, this is the only flow running in the tank right now.
It's hard to get. There we go.
The green star polyps on the back wall, that is 24 feet away from the pump, and you can see them pulsing. We'll come down here, take a look at the torch. So now we're about 2.5 feet away from the front of the pump. So it's a hard impacting wave, but it's also at the same time it's gentle. As you can see, we're not tearing anything off of the torch, and yet the detritus is flipping around all over the place. If you look here on the Goniopora, you can see not only is it bending with the flow coming off the back wall of the tank, so the flow's gone all the way around the tank and it's coming out across the back, but it's also waving back and forth in the current. And if we come to our hammer garden in the middle of the tank, so granted this is behind all the rockwork of the main island and sitting down on the bottom of the tank, and you can see the pulsing rhythm from the wave mode on that. Those guys doing really well there. We come back up here to the top of the island, the Spitzularia. You can watch it bending back and forth in the current. And we'll come around to the backside of the tank to the Duncan that we were just beating the crap out of at 100%. And you can see that it's all leaned over still, but it's going up and down with the current. Now the other nice thing, we're going to walk the camera all the way back to the far end of the tank, is the standing wave in the tank. So 1-inch acrylic thick top, water surface. I'm going to put my finger here, and you see there's a wave in the tank that's probably just over 3/4 of an inch going back and forth. Now this is just the first setting I've done. I have not tried to maximize it or adjust it. I just went to 1 second, 15 and 85%, and this is the standing wave I got in 750 gallons of water. So crazy powerful pump. My next video is going to be showing the Abyzz Flow Cannon versus the Pantarraya Hydro Wizard ECM63. Why? Because I have both, and if you have a big tank, you're probably interested in both. I'm interested in both, and we'll see how both do against each other. So thanks for taking the time to watch this, listen to my dogs bark, my gardener clean the backyard, me talk way too fast and quickly, but hopefully you enjoyed finding out about the new Abyzz Flow Cannon, and I look forward to sharing it with you in my other videos coming up. Thanks!